Hello, I am Subs Junior,
Hi,
aka Vyom.
I'm Sub Senior, aka Rajesh, and together we are the
Football
Subs.
Subs.
So, meeting you after nearly 2.5 month break. There were some personal things
Yeah,
and travel and whatnot, and we just haven't had. But that doesn't mean that
yeah.
we've stopped following football.
Yep. So, and hello, football fans. Welcome back to our podcast. And if you've been away from the beautiful game for a bit, don't worry. We've got you covered. We've got an interesting summary from the late January 2025 right up to mid-April, and it's been absolutely packed with late drama and lots more interesting things.
Yeah,
Yep, and title races have really intensified. European giants have clashed under a whole new format. England's national teams have been in action under new management, fresh faces, and domestic cups have found their new homes.
absolutely, Subs Junior. Last time we spoke, it was the end of 2025 January, and the season was really heating up. A lot of closeness in many competitions, but many things have fallen into place. We said we'd do a follow up, and what we really want to cover is everything that's happened since then. So, why wait about it? Let's jump straight into the Premier League.
Yes, sir. So,
Vyom, do you remember, Subs Junior? Do you remember back in January, Liverpool were leading the Premier League? Well,
massively.
massively, right? They were leading by about 6 points or so, and they've continued that domination. Yeah, they dropped a
Oh
few
my.
points. Yes, they lost a couple of games, Nottingham Forest, Fulham, and others. But under Arne's slot, that Premier League, even though they dropped a few
Wow.
points, others, especially their nearest rival, helped them by not taking full advantage of it. So they do have, well, as of today, because we're recording this on Saturday, just
Yeah.
after the Arsenal game, and Liverpool have a 10-point lead with
And
one game to play tomorrow.
yes, and
And
it's
that means they
pretty.
just need 3 wins.
They just need 3 wins out of 7 games. I mean, like, come on, like, unless they have, like, they're not in good form right now as they just lost to Fulham, but they have a game in hand tomorrow against, I think, West Ham. Yeah, West
so
Ham.
anything can happen. But like,
Yeah,
look,
anything.
I think Mo Salah has
It's
just
most
signed a 2-year contract
most
extension.
likely. It's
So, do you
most
wanna call it?
likely they win.
Yeah.
Like
Let's-
75% and 25% not.
Well, it's probably a lot more than that
Yeah,
as far as the betting.
199.
Yeah, so I think we could call it that Liverpool are most likely going to be the winners and they will be the champions, but it'll get formalized in another few weeks. So that's Liverpool.
Yeah, wow. And 11 points is a massive league.
Yeah.
And now we're going to talk about the runners-up, Arsenal.
Yeah, what happened to
They-
Arsenal? They were second back then.
They were second back then, yeah. They've been trying to keep up with pace and are still in second place, playing really good football with the best defense in the league, and a home advantage. And they had a home advantage in the Champions League, beating Real Madrid 3-0. We'll get to that later. We're really happy about that. Yes, and
Yeah,
so,
but they were also
however-
down with injury. How haven't they been?
yeah, they've had an injury crisis. There's Martinelli and Gabriel, who just recently picked up an injury. Havertz, Jesus, Saka came back.
It's just been tough for them.
Every team has an injury crisis, but that just probably decided it.
But
If
more
we had
importantly,
them-
even injuries are one thing, but we just don't have the depth in front of goal. We had to do with makeshift strikers and
Yes,
everything.
the creativity is super. They create the average 8 shots a game, but nobody.
Conversion is nil. So
Yeah.
even today in the game against Brentford, there were so many chances. They just couldn't do it. I mean, Brentford had a great defense, of course, but if you
Yeah.
see some of the games, it's just been they need a striker. Everybody's been saying that from the beginning of the season. So finally, they do have a new sporting director, Andrea Berta,
Yeah.
who's come in with a lot of high regard. I think he's come in from Napoli or something.
Hmm.
So his first order of magnitude is to get strikers. So many people are being
Really,
spoken about,
yeah,
right?
we really need a striker.
Sesko,
But
Gyökeres, maybe even Isak.
Arteta knows this, but I just can't believe it. January transfer window. Just Aston Villa signed 2 strikers. Arsenal could have signed them, but we didn't know that they were free.
And what about Kvaratskhelia? He
Yeah.
was signed by Paris Saint-Germain. Saint-Germain. He was the best striker in Italy with Napoli.
Yeah.
If Arsenal were serious, couldn't they have got him? They could have certainly afforded to pay him a lot more. So all of that has really happened, and that is the issue right now. Okay, that's enough said about Arsenal. As you know, we are wearing the colors. As you know, it is our favorite team. We will be Gunners till I die. There is
Yeah.
still some positivity and some
Champions
silver lining,
League,
Champions League, but we'll come to that later.
Yeah, can't wait. Yes, and now we're gonna talk about the team that
Man
have
City.
won it. They've won the title 4
Yeah.
consecutive times in a row, but this season it just not been up for them. Like today they've been doing well. They beat Crystal Palace 5-2, but
Yeah, but again, Haaland is out of form or out of the team with injury. De Bruyne has announced that this will be his last season. He's woefully out of form.
And
they still have.
Yeah, they took some key defeats like Nottingham Forest, Liverpool, and Man United.
Man United draw.
Yeah.
Think about it. Man United's probably the worst Man United side ever.
And Guardiola even called his team way too slow, as they were knocked out in the Champions League in the playoffs against Real Madrid. Yeah, that was a big surprise.
That's right. Yeah.
And Subsenia, you also mentioned Nottingham Forest were in really good
form.
I
mean, what a season they've had, right? Nobody expected them to be where they are. They are very much in the running for the top 4, top 5.
Gary Lineker predicted that they'd get relegated.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? He's going to eat his words. Now the thing is, they've had a good run. They beat bunch of teams, Liverpool, Man City, and whatnot. The thing is, they've had a couple of hiccups. They lost to Aston Villa, and I think today also they lost.
Who?
Nottingham Forest lost to Everton today, 90 plus 4th minute.
Decore.
Wow. So they've been dropping points, and what that brings is essentially that Man City, Nottingham, and a bunch of others, right? We'll talk about them. They are all in the mix for that 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th position, and that's going to make a big difference in terms of their Champions League and Europe places, right?
Yeah. Now, and speaking of Europe places, now let's have a good talk about the race for the Europe and team updates.
Yeah.
So, with the possibility of 5 Champions League spots for next season, the race below the top 2 is very intense. Chelsea are currently in 4th place, followed by Newcastle United, fresh off their Carabao Cup win, are right behind in 5th place with a game in hand.
That's right.
Yeah. So Chelsea also secured a vital win against Spurs, and Newcastle have also been good form.
Correct.
The financial rewards for the Champions League qualification are huge, especially for Chelsea, who are playing without a main shirt sponsor.
That's true, and in fact, Subs Junior, it is confirmed now that England will get 5 Champions League places because of the UEFA coefficient. They are very high, and in terms of how their teams have been doing in the Champions League, Europa League, Europa Conference League, so they will get 5. But now Liverpool and Arsenal will be the top 2. There will be a bunch of teams which will then fight hard for the 3rd, 4th, 5th spot, if you think about it, right? So you have Nottingham Forest, Chelsea, Newcastle, Man City, potentially Fulham. They are also breathing down the neck.
They're also quite underrated.
It's quite possible. Let's just talk about a couple of other teams of interest, right?
Yeah, and
remember Man United?
Yeah.
They were in despicable form according to Ruben Amorim, and that has continued. They haven't progressed much. They're really languishing in the 13th place. They scratch out some draws and results, but no one seems to be happy here. He will need a huge reboot at the beginning of the season. They're still in the Europa League. Of course, they had a 2-2 draw earlier, but they still need a lot of work. What about Spurs?
Yeah, Spurs, they've been quite Spursy. It's not been the best season. Postecoglou, Yeah, they're down in 14th place, and he's under increasing
Pressure. And
pressure.
he's losing the crowd. He used to
Yeah,
be a crowd
and
favorite. He's losing them. He's losing
now,
everybody. It's just very, very tough.
Papa, wait,
So
we didn't talk about Man United.
we did,
And now,
we did. I did.
oh yeah, and
We
now
spoke.
lastly, Chelsea. It's been a mixed bag of results for them. They're currently in 4th place, while their league form has been very inconsistent. Poor. They had a good away win in the UEFA Conference League, but that's like the worst league in Europe you can get into.
Correct,
So
correct. So where are we
yeah,
at the moment on the table? Liverpool is still up top, 73.
yeah.
Arsenal with a draw
Arsenal
today is
follow.
63.
Yeah, now they're on 63.
So Liverpool
Nottingham Forest 57. They
still in
lost today.
57. Yeah,
Yep,
Chelsea
and
is 53.
Chelsea moved up. Yeah, I mean this isn't the current table because Man City would be 4th.
Yeah, Man City after they win will be in 55 points. Yes, exactly. Then Chelsea and Newcastle are 53. But remember, Newcastle have 2 games on Arsenal and others. So Newcastle, if they win both on Nottingham Forest, if Newcastle win both their games, they would be on 59 and ahead of Nottingham Forest. So
Yeah.
it's all happening here, guys. Don't go away. Well, one thing is for certain: the bottom of the table. It is almost Southampton have.
So Southampton, according to all of this mathematical things, these points there. Yeah, they've got relegated, and Leicester. It's
In fact,
really
1 point.
Leicester to really yeah.
Southampton are stuck on 10 points. They lost today again.
Yeah.
So they're still on 10 points with about 6 games to play.
Yeah,
And if they lose all 6 games, they will have the ignominy of landing at the lowest total ever. The current record is being held, I can't remember, was it Ipswich? Not Ipswich, but by somebody who got 11 points. Derby County, I think, Derby something.
Yeah, Derby
So,
County, yeah.
yeah, it's sad.
And
But
now,
Leicester and the other one, Ipswich. Ipswich has been giving a bit of a fight, to be honest, but
Yeah,
they've just not been getting the
yeah,
results.
but and Leicester, the chances are very low, but they're not officially relegated. So, and I think they've lost today, right? No, they drew today actually to
Yeah,
Brighton.
they drew today, but it's not
I
enough.
don't
Too
think,
little, too late.
Yeah, they got to win all their games the next games. Otherwise,
Okay, cool.
hi, football fans. We're back from a short break, and now we're going to talk about the Champions League shots in the quarter-final frenzy.
That's right. It's been full of surprises. As you know, this year the Champions League had a new format. You had every team playing 9 matches.
Yeah,
8 matches.
eight,
8 matches instead of the usual 5 or 6.
Yeah,
6. And they all went through. There was the top 8 which automatically qualified for the round of 16. And you had the rest which qualified for a round of 32. And there were some interesting matchups. What happened?
I know the Champions League has been full of shocks and surprises with the whole new format. Remember, we talked about a potential El Clasico in the round of 16.
Did that happen?
Yeah, no, but it was still a derby. Atletico Madrid versus.
That did happen in the round of 16, didn't it?
Yeah, and not quite in Real Madrid round of 16, but they were still huge shocks. Reigning Champions League champions, Real Madrid actually knocked out Manchester City in the knockout stages, the playoffs.
And incredibly, PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, eliminated Liverpool. Liverpool had a great run in the first part, right? They literally just lost their last game.
Yeah.
And they had 21 points.
They
were on form.
But I must say, like, the goal, Donnarumma, he did really well in the shootout.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
incredible. And in fact, in the first leg, Liverpool were battered by PSG, battered. Except they walked away with 1 goal. That was that was not enough. That was not just not enough.
It was.
Arsenal and Aston Villa were the only 2 teams to progress into the quarterfinals.
They're only English.
So what happened in the quarterfinals?
And in the quarterfinals, Arsenal faced Real Madrid and produced arguably the best performance in the Emirates Stadium. Rice scored 2 stunning free kicks. It's a record in the Champions League. Only 5 people have ever done it. There's Cristiano Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Neymar, Ronaldinho, and Declan Rice.
Yeah, how cool is that?
It's really cool. And also Aston Villa played PSG and lost the leg first
3-1.
leg in 2 goals.
That's tough, right?
And-
Because this the last third goal happened in the 93rd minute or something, and if they would have been comfortable and maybe confident taking a 2-1 deficit to Villa Park, but now
the
3-1
pressure's
is tough.
We like a good game of football.
But then,
And
Bayern lost.
And then Bayern lost 2-1 at home to Inter Milan. I mean, just one goal. You obviously got to get the 2-0 cushion. Martinez scoring and Thomas Müller. It's pretty impressive.
2 goals. He scored 2 goals.
No, I know Inter scored.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Inter scored 2.
But Thomas Müller.
He scored.
He scored, and he's not very young. He's quite old for a football player. It's very impressive.
Think about it. The young men, young boys and young men are ruling it. If you think about Miles Lewis Kelly at Arsenal, Lamine Yamal, and a bunch of others at Barcelona. PSG has so many young kids, young people, right?
Wow.
But at the same time, the longevity of a footballer, world-class footballer, is such that Luka Modric starts for Real Madrid.
He's like 40.
40. Robert Lewandowski scores 2 goals.
He's in his 700 career goal.
It's just mind-boggling.
Amazing.
But if you think about it, if you see all the teams, yes, we love our Arsenal and we want them to do well. But PSG and Barcelona are in the form of their life. What teams? But then again, it's a question of taking it match by match. So it's all possible. It's still not home and sealed for Arsenal because the Bernabeu is a tough place.
Yeah,
it's a tough place. As long as you.
3-0.
Yeah.
We have the best defense. But some people say in the world, some people say in the Premier League.
That's true.
But it's quite solid. But we did lose Gabriel. But at the Emirates, Jakub Kiwior, he did a really good job.
Yeah.
Covering up.
So let's really hope for that it kind of clicks into place.
Yeah, and now we're going to talk about the cup glory.
Yeah. So what happened? There were a couple of cups domestically which were sealed.
We've already mentioned Newcastle United winning the Carabao Cup. The FA Cup has reached the semi-final stage. Manchester City have a chance to get to the final, but they have a little advantage because they're in good form. They just won 5-2 today, and Nottingham Forest lost.
So it's all possible. So you do have Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, and Man City. 4 teams who still have a chance in the thing. So Man City, the season may not be completely lost. They do traditionally do reasonably well at Wembley. But then the other 3 teams will be hungry. Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, and Forest. They'll all want
really
trophies.
Hard,
they will all go for it.
And now let's talk about the country we're in, their national team, England.
Yeah, there's been a big beginning of a new era.
Yeah.
What happened?
It's coming home. Okay.
Yeah, I hope so too. But what happened in England? What is the change in the England team?
They've got a new manager. As people said, if Gareth Southgate doesn't win the Euros, he'll be sacked. Yep.
He didn't get sacked. He did quit on his own.
Yeah, he did quit. But
we had Thomas Tuchel.
Things weren't looking good for him. Yeah.
Thomas Tuchel was, of course, the ex-Chelsea and the ex-Bayern Munich and so on.
And he's had a very positive start, winning both the games against Albania and Latvia.
Yeah, he debuted a lot of new players.
He never debuted to Miles Lewis Kelly. He's 18 years old and he scores as a substitute and as a defender. And he's not even a defender. And these young players, they're very versatile. It's very good.
Very versatile, that's right. And look, Harry Kane keeps scoring for England. By the way, he keeps scoring for Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga, and they're almost certain to win.
The trophy cast is going to be over.
Yes, for him, and they really want the World Cup, so they're going to go all out for it, and we're going to support them. The Lionesses are doing well as well. Although
they've had a mixed
Nations
bag of results.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Belgium in their Nations League campaign, but ultimately moving to the top of their group. It's
Yeah.
exciting.
Awesome.
And now we're gonna get
Wait,
to the last.
1 second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna get to the last stage in this video, potentially the best, the fun facts, the 5 fun facts.
Yeah.
Now Sub Senior will kick this part off with the first fact.
Why don't you start? Because we talked about Declan Rice and the goals that he scored. Why don't you tell us
Yeah.
a fun fact about that?
Yes.
In his entire career.
Yeah, in his entire career of 404.
Something like
Yeah.
that. 410 goals.
410
Games
that he hasn't scored a free kick and
scored directly from a free kick.
Scored directly. But and to do that in your first game that you scored a free kick, it's astonishing.
The two, getting 2 direct free kick goals, the odds are something like 1 in 500, and Declan Rice managed that.
Yeah.
Now that's a fun fact. Let's talk about another fun fact. Did you know the Scottish club Dundee United? Just one thing about that Arsenal, Real Madrid. There's also another fun fact that Arsenal has never lost to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
In the knockout stages of the Champions League.
Yeah, and they haven't conceded yet at the Emirates in this Champions League.
In fact, they haven't conceded at all against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Back in 2005-06,
incredible.
They had a 0-0 draw, and then of course Henry scored the goal at the Bernabeu, 1-0, and then now it's 3-0. So that's a fun fact. And it's the same thing about Dundee United, who's played Spanish giants Barcelona 4 times in European competition.
Yeah,
and they've won every single one of them, 100% record.
So it's unbelievable.
Okay.
Like, man, it's Barcelona. Like,
what's the next fun fact? What's in the name, Bjorn?
What's in the name? This is about a Manchester United player,
famous Brazilian.
Brazilian midfielder. His name is Casemiro. So he wore his name. His actual name is spelled Casemiro, like Casemiro. But apparently it was misspelled for his debut. But he played well, and being very superstitious, he decided to keep it that way for his entire career.
Funny, right?
Very funny.
Another fun fact about goal-scoring goalies.
Rodrigo Ceni,
Brazilian legend. He played for São Paulo, which is also the birthplace of one Mr. Neymar. Okay, never mind. He scored an incredible 129 goals as a goalkeeper, mainly through free kicks and penalties.
Yep, and now
which national team holds an unbeaten record against Brazil? Guess.
Norway.
Really? Wow.
It's just so insane. Like,
they've never lost.
They're 5 against the mighty Brazil, the 5-time World Cup winners. No, it's Norway. The Brazil have multiple times have never lost, including a famous win in the 1998 World Cup final.
I know, it's amazing. And the last fun fact for the day, lowest scoring league champions. Did you know that AC Milan in 1993-94 won a long league?
Only scoring 36
goals. How cool is that? The defensive record must have been amazing.
And that season, the team that got two teams that got relegated only scored 36 goals.
35 goals at that time, 1 goal less. So these guys were champions with 36 goals. The others were relegated with 35 goals. Of course, they would have let in a lot more goals, and these guys had the most amazing defense, like most Italian champions do. So look, that's where we are. That's where you have it. A huge catch-up in the thrilling world of football over the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And
what a ride! And now let's see what the season concludes.
Yeah.
And thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. And one more time, we are the football subs.